What's up, everybody? It's Nino Daniel. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so excited to be here with y'all. I hope you're hungry. I say that because we've got quite a feisty little treat today. We have Haitz and Ryan James, the director and producer of Cannibal Comedian, which is now streaming on SCREAMBOX. Gentlemen, how are you doing today? What's going on? I love the movie poster. Can I have that?
I'm starving for more comedy. Hey, if you were gonna eat it up, eat it up. He was well grounded.
uh,
That sounds just like him.
Okay, real quick, 5 years of working on this movie, I've never heard him do like a Charlie impression, a jokey Charlie impression. Aaron's gonna be at home like, all right, I'm done. I'm out of here.
Then I got the old sheriff.
Oh, I had such high hopes for him as a character, but then damn.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say much. I mean, I want people to watch this on SCREAMBOX.
Yeah.
And if you with his character, you should definitely check out the special features because he has a very different what if choose your adventure on the ultimate ending for sure.
What if choose your own adventure? Wait, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just leave it at that.
Okay. Listen, I know we've already started talking, but I would love for the folks at home to get to know the both of you. I mean, Sean, take it away. Tell us a little about yourself. He's like, actually.
Yeah. I am from Sarasota, Florida. I grew up in Florida, made movies there, but I always took everything to another level. Like we had a haunted yard, and it was really cool because my mom was into it, and we'd make graves. And it actually makes me think of we had cheesy one-liners even back then, like we came up with when we made the graves, like Eddie Frog croaked. So I was already doing these jokes even way back then, and I'd get the neighborhood friends to come and be scare actors. So I was already like producing like a haunted yard. That's where it started, and then when I picked up a camera, like I was off. I was making movies from probably age 10 on. And I'm just a huge fan of comedy too. I grew up with Ace Ventura, the Farrelly Brothers, all those type of movies were just. I mean, I probably watched them like 1,000 times. Some of these movies, Dumb and Dumber, and so mixing with the comedy and the horror was like that's it's kind of like me. So
Yeah.
it was easy to do for me.
That's awesome. That's two of my literal favorite things, and how I kind of popped off on TikTok was blending horror and comedy. So you're like in my little, like, you have like a little space in my heart for the love of the two things. Ryan James. That
Wow.
was
Thank you. That actually is my full name, Ryan James Burr, attorney at law.
Right, exactly.
Ryan James.
Ryan James, Burr, attorney at law, DMD, PhD.
Don't trust the guy with two first names. I'll be here all night. I kill on and off stage.
Says his tagline to his head.
I'm having a good time. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go.
We do be.
Yeah.
What was the question? Who am I?
So about me.
So actually, hey,
kidding.
this is so guy with two first names, Ryan James. This is for you. Like, who are you? Why are you here? What's the last four of your social? Whatever you want to answer in that order.
Sure. Well, I just discovered email the other day. I'm a Telegram guy my whole life, and the first one that popped through was yours, and I was like, I gotta jump on
I'm
this.
telling you, it's just something.
It's perfect timing, That is kind of like the summary of Cannibal Comedian and how everything has worked with us with the launch, because you try and make a movie and then the pandemic happens, and then like ups and downs of the film industry and strikes, and then it's like the movie comes out when it comes out, and honestly we just couldn't be happier for the timing. I was literally just like texting David Howard Thornton like right before this because the
name dropper
doc came out today. Name drop. There's gonna be a few, and I was like, that was kind of like, especially that's why I like threw on the Toxie shirt, because like my whole timeline is flooded by like Toxic Avenger getting like saved by like Cineverse Bloody Disgusting SCREAMBOX, and like it's this renaissance now for horror that like we're all lucky to be a part of, and timing is just everything. But yeah, I don't know. It's been a cool ride, but it all kind of started very much copy and paste Sean's answer. Also grew up in Florida and like Tampa area, making movies on the camcorder with my neighborhood friends and my my family members who I forced to be cast members. All funny enough, like all started horror comedy. Scary Movie was super influential for me. I just thought that like poking fun at like you can watch horror movies and cheesy horror and laugh at it with your friends. It's not trying to be funny, but like even the Mutilator is another really good example of like. It's got like that campy fun. They meant to make a horror movie, but just like something about it, it's fun and funny. You can watch it with your friends and have a good time. And we mainly just made movies to show each other and premiere on our living room big screen. And like that my mom just discovered like my hand-drawn posters like a month ago that have been missing for like 20 years. And I was like looking through this stuff like, whoa, like the path is kind of like always led toward this, which is pretty cool. I wish someone would have gave me the script earlier so I could memorize my lines for life. It's been kind of like a similar journey of doing that, and Sean very much like in the documentary and the feature doc that's on the Blu-ray from Scream Team releasing, you'll see there's like even like our childhood home movies are featured in there, and that became a big part of Cannibal Comedian and the life. And I know we're going to go over like the whole trials and tribulations of it, so we can get more into that. Grew up in Florida, where actually a lot of us have spent time living in. A lot of the cast is actually either from there or lived there for a time, and so I don't know. Maybe there's some sort of like fun Florida energy, and we all just met in LA at the same time, and just kind of have like a history of just connecting the dots of this guy, or you worked with Bill Moseley, or you like this movie or that movie or this distributor, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, just hitting it off, but just for filmmaking and comedy and horror. It really kind of was like a match made in heaven. It's been a really wild ride that I'm very fortunate.
It's such a cool journey for the both of you. I mean, it's very serendipitous, right? Like to start in Florida. I mean, hey, maybe the cannibal part came in. Maybe it was bath salts. Like, who knows? Like, whatever happened.
there's a joke in there.
Freeway in Tampa, whatever happened there. But I know, Sean, prior to hitting record, I have to go over this with you.
Don't do it.
Over here. Can you talk about your last name?
Yeah, we were talking about like roll call line when I was a little kid. I was already making people laugh without having to do anything. And because people will pronounce it because it's Haitz, so people will say Haitz. I remember the person too. He was a friend of mine. It would be like Sean Haitz, Ronnie Howe, and people and so it was already all right. So that was the beginning. And and on top of that, I'll just go into a little bit. I had such a bad overbite, and I had this thing. It was like a retainer that had to stay. It was all metal, and it was called a T-Rex. Cool name. But I'd get food clogged in it, and I would do this thing like my friends would crack up laughing. And I just remember, I just made friends so quickly with my goofiness and my last name on top of that. The name is it's German, and actually when I was looking into it a little bit more, it's very close to Heinz, like Heinz ketchup. The meaning behind it and everything. I've heard that it means heater, like hot. So hopefully this movie gets heated up and gets hot.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna end it right there.
Considering where you filmed it, so.
Oh yeah, it was hot. It was a hot desert too.
Considering.
And cold. It was cold too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to be remiss, but Ryan, your hair is. I know I mentioned it, but it's just gorge. Like.
It's fake.
I wish my follicles would do that.
I only have one hair. And the rest is just all one long extension on top of it.
It's like a Dr. Seuss, like Whoville character.
If you pull this off, I look like Cynthia, the doll from the Rugrats. So it's all movie magic. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. The more compliments I hear, the more I'm like, I guess I can't cut it.
You can't cut it, dude. You like.
I just need somebody to offer me a role that like is like, you gotta shave that thing. That's the only way you'll have it. And I go, it's the only way I'll have it. I gotta do it. So I'll go where the roles take me. Because then the next thing they're gonna be like, we want you to play a guy whose hair he can braid with his toes. And it's just like, I'm just like, I gotta get that role. I gotta get that role. So
absolutely. The contortioned hairstylist role is super important. Like it's one of the most vital parts of any film.
It's a hairy role, guys. Okay?
Listen, you'd be a fool not to do it. There's a joke in there,
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep up with the both of you. This is like, you're making me bring out like my goods in this, and this is what I appreciate so much.
Well, it's funny too because sorry, you go, Sean.
No. When I did comedy, I would do this thing this is my first time doing stand up, and some people would be like, "Oh, that's cool," and I'm like, "Today," so you can do that. This is my first time doing this today. Yeah.
And Sean is like just a factory of puns. It's funny because when we got to like the tail end of wrapping up the movie, because we'd be like, oh, that's a good one. Let's do an ADR bit. Or, oh man, that's a good pickup. We'll put that as part of like the final, like little last scenes to connect to the ending and stuff like that. But then there'd be like moments where it'd be another good Cannibal pun, but I'd be like, Bud, we gotta save some stuff for Cannibal 2. Like, we gotta, like, let's put that in the Cannibal 2 folder. That's when you know you're like, okay, yeah, because if we just put infinite jokes, the runtime's gonna be 4 hours long, the Snyder Cut edition, and it's like, we gotta just like, we gotta try and space this out so we have enough to offer, later. So we do take note. And we do very much, in the event that we are lucky enough to do a sequel, we just keep those in the tuck so that we have some gold that we can kind of play some bits with later.
Oh, getting into like more about the film and especially the jokes. Charlie has this dad joke like sense of humor. I can very clearly see where the hell it comes from. Like, it's very, like funny, clever. The joke that stood out to me the most was like the vegans joke with the impossible meat punchline. That actually, I paused the screener and I'm like, if you get like intellect and stuff, that joke was just delicious.
That was a good joke. I think it was like do we remember who like wrote it, or it was like kind of a combo?
I think because there's a vegan scene in the beginning, but I can't remember. I do remember in the commentary, Aaron being like,
I only eat vegan.
I did the vegan joke, so just be mad at me. I made that up or something like that. But I think he was trying to take the heat off of you. At least like vegan audiences can watch and feel included, but the people who maybe just like feel like vegans are annoying, just like, it's also something for them. It's like how Charlie is like the main character that people might love because he does puns, but some people really do not mess with puns. Like they find them like easy picking joke, and it's just like, and that's what, like, we like the setup of just like, oh, it's there, it's right in our face, and it's about to like hit us with a good joke, like good punchline. But like some people do not like it, so it's like, that's why the Carrie character played by Robert Dunn is very much like, if you don't like him, this is your hero. And won't get into spoilers of like the third act, but like he kind of is the voice of the antithesis audience who may not be a fan of this concept. So it's like, even if you aren't feeling it in the first half, stick around to the last half, because that's probably going to be more your cup of tea. And we really did try and build something to get ahead of it. Like, my cousin was one of the first people to like watch one of the test cuts we did, and he sat there and he kind of like made fun of, he just like right off the bat made a joke to make fun of the movie, and like but without saying it, he was just kind of being clever. And I was like, dude, I just started the movie, what are you doing? And then I was like, well, we can't have anybody beat him to the punch, so let's take that line and let's put it in Robert's mouth. And we added ADR later, so the joke that my cousin did, I was like, we threw it in there because again, it's like, we do want to show it to the audience. We do.
Did he say anything after his joke is in there? Like, oh shit.
Oh yeah,
he's like trying to make fun of the movie.
It's the greatest movie ever made. My cousin's a genius, and I'm just like, you're just like stroking your own, like, but it's a good one, yeah.
Oh yeah, you're gonna make fun of the movie?
We haven't.
Yeah, it's like, you're gonna make fun of the movie. Yeah. We're gonna put your joke in the movie. How you like that,
You know,
sir?
Then it'll be even funnier.
I'm telling your mom. How about that? Okay, we're gonna have a house meeting.
Put it in the family group chat or something. I was gonna also say on the topic of like inclusivity and having something. I mean, there's drag queens, there's drug lords, shady police officers, country singers, and really intense hecklers throughout this movie. Like, talk about what it means to like create a film that has a little bit for everyone.
I'm just laughing about the drug lords thing. I've never heard like the stoner dude and bro.
I'm
And,
calling
like,
it drug lords.
I love that. I'm picturing them as drug kingpins. I'm like having a full-on side story hilarity ride in my head right now. But yeah, no, you know what, that I very much think that comes down to one of Sean's like absolute kind of like natural talents, which is casting. Which so many people, I was thinking about this recently, they will put the wrong people together just out of like, you know, oh, we're just gonna make a movie and we're not gonna try and get the best person for the job. We're gonna play favorites and we're just gonna shoehorn people into these roles or whatever. We've gotten so lucky because we've always tried to go for just like you get the absolute right people on the project, and when the project works, it's not really a surprise. You're just happy that it worked. And that's what's so great about this group is we never go like, oh, we have to find a role for this person. Like, we've tried to put our friends from like the multiple movies in there. And if the role just like isn't the right fit with the character, the type, or like we're not just connecting with it, or they don't connect with it, we don't force it out there of like, well, we're stuck with it, we have to. Like, we genuinely really do craft this thing so that everyone does feel like they're included. And that is by happenstance. It's not by like any sort of like, you know, agenda of ours where we have to like tick off every box or whatever. Like, we just happen to have like every friend of every creed and color and every character type. And it just so happens that like if the movie resonates with you, like no matter what like part of the spectrum you're on, it's like that's just a happy accident that we're really thankful for. We just have a really good group working on these movies on like the Happy Frights collection. You know, if you see like Bellevue Bob, the short film that's a spinoff of Sean's Big Top Evil, it's not a spoiler, but like, you know, the Desert News reporter Bart Cooper, played by Johnny Hoops, makes an appearance doing a newscast in Bellevue Bob. And so it's like, if you look close, you'll kind of see all of the breadcrumbs and Easter eggs, and you know, it's nice that it works out that way. But I'm still laughing at drug lords. I'm just like,
those guys are drug lords, yeah. And those guys kind of showed up. I kind of bring back things or characters from other films that I did. And in Mangrove Slasher 2, I actually played a drug lord. I was just a stoner dude. But it, but yeah, there was two of us in that movie, and I kind of wanted to bring those fun characters back in a different way. So that kind of happens too. So I'm bringing characters in, they're coming back, or if it's not the same person, you know. Also, I've worked with some of these people for like 15 years, like Miss Sadistic and David Vega. They were in Mangrove Slasher as well, and it's just so funny. They kind of moved out to Palm Springs, which outside LA, around the same time I did, and they were in Florida. So it's just so, and they literally lived like a half hour from the location we shot because they're already out in the desert. So it's just really serendipitous or something like that. That could happen. And then, you know, I think too with the casting, like I'll just meet people. Like I met Aaron at Halloween Horror Nights, and I met most of those guys, Johnny Hoops, Robert Dunn, who plays Carrie, and we were all Ghostbusters in the Ghostbusters made back in 2019. So I'm just happy that I auditioned and that I got that gig to actually meet these people. So I think one thing I could say advice is like put yourself out there and do things that are a little bit not so comfortable, and then all of a sudden you're going to maybe meet some friends and for life, basically. You know, Nick that plays Jeff that gets a splitting headache in the beginning. He's also from the Ghostbusters maze and at Halloween Horror Nights. So I really came off that. So we shot in February of 2020, and in October of 2019, I met all these guys, and I'm like, I'm making this movie, and I want you in this, and I already had roles picked out. And then there was other ways that I did casting where we got Shay, and Shay's also, he plays Vic, the MC, and he's also a big part in my next movie, Area 5150, and he's great in that. Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's Alien meets The Hills Have Eyes with some Naked Gun slapstick humor. That's the way I like to put it.
I thought you were going for like an alien comes to Earth, and then we treat the alien the way we did Britney Spears, put her in an involuntary conservatorship, 5150 her.
Yeah.
To be honest, this is still somewhat a
yeah.
the plot.
Yeah.
There's some elements in there.
There's a Ruby Rose. Yeah. Ruby Rose, not Britney Spears, but you'll meet Ruby Rose. She's a half mutant thing with a chainsaw hand, basically, with a saw hand.
Oh.
With a little baby skull on it. Yeah, okay. She's pretty cute.
It's cute. It's giving like an edgier, like Guns Akimbo kind of thing.
Yeah.
I wanna ask you this, Sean. So I did some research by chance, like just out of sheer dumb.
It's just one DUI.
No.
Okay.
I mean, that's a bonus fit. Thank you so much. By chance, did the idea of the cannibal killer wearing what resembles a human face come from your 10-year-old self dressing up as Freddy and using liquid latex?
Ooh, that is a great question. Do you remember that goo, Ryan? It was the makeup kit for Freddy Krueger. You literally put it in the microwave, and it's like actual goo, and you're putting it on your face, and you looked like a fresh looking Freddy. Like, it looked so good. And then it was gone forever. Yeah, I don't know, because then it was gone. It was awesome, though.
Junior would do that now.
It is funny because I did have like at least one or two Freddy masks and sweaters and gloves. So like I had all the things except for the Nickelodeon gack that you would need to make.
Man, that stuff
completely change your face forever. Because that sounds like actually like a good plot for like a film if they haven't done one already. Like someone like who likes doing practical effects, prosthetic effects, makeup horror movie. And if someone knows one out there, I'd love to watch it. But like I've always thought about like these, you see like the making of Terrifier and stuff like that. And it's like a movie about a guy who does like practical makeup effects. And there's like a horror slasher element to it that like the effects are fake, but there's real murders happening on set or something like that. Like that sounds like almost like a Goosebumps haunted mask, putting the on your face to like do the effect, and it like eats through the skin, and now you are this person going around. Like that would actually be like a pretty dope concept if it doesn't already exist. But
Ryan,
that could be fun. It can exist.
I think I wrote something down of like just like I need to find this or we need to make this like that, and that kind of sometimes I feel like is partially how you get kind of those creative ideas. There's not a lot of horror comedy out there. If you search horror comedy, you'll find a ton. But like we did find like when it was time to like pitch this movie and release this movie that like if you're gonna do horror comedy, you really gotta like believe in it and have a team behind you that can propel this thing and know what it wants to be and have your pitch down of like, we were always pitching it as like Ace Ventura meets the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but there's so many other similar type movies of like, there's things from like House of a Thousand Corpses or Devil's Rejects, but also, King of Comedy and like Me, Myself, and Irene. Like we were looking at like the poster of Me, Myself, and Irene like years after we had like the split face poster, and I was like, man, like maybe there was something inherent. Like we didn't actually like pitch that, but it was kind of like it's like wow, like that was the first like R-rated movie I think I got to see in theaters because Bruce Willis's The Kid was sold out. My parents were like, I guess we'll take him to see his favorite actor's movie and hopefully it won't ruin his life or whatever. Like ideas like that, like you really got to go out there and push this thing, and the fans and just like people who resonate with it have to propel it because horror comedy does not have like a set box office number of return. Horror does, absolutely. But horror comedy, like if you look like Freaky, is one of my favorite like horror comedies of like the last 5 years that just came out during the tail end of like the pandemic. Like it was playing at like it was premiering at, like drive-ins, like
Yeah.
you know. But that movie should have had a bigger
With like
launch.
Vince Vaughn,
but, like,
right? Yeah.
Vince
Yeah.
Vaughn, yeah, and what is it? It's got like the
Catherine
the
Newton.
freaky. Yeah, it's got like the Freaky Friday
Vibe,
meets Friday the 13th split, and that's one that like again I feel like nobody that I talk to has ever seen it, and it's just one of those like this movie. You gotta see this movie. Like it's just horror comedy is just like this weird little mixed genre thing that like if you push it and people embrace it, it'll be successful. But it's so important to like get people to see it and talk about it with their friends for it to be successful, because people don't really want to take a chance on it. Like a lot of like when we were like pitching the movie before we went and did the festival tour was a lot of like, yeah, we don't really do horror comedy. We'll do horror, but we won't pick up horror comedy. I'm sorry. And it's just like, well, why not? We loved your film, but we can't take a chance on it. And it's just like, what the heck? Like that's not like a expose or anything. It's like that's like a tale as old as time. Go look at the horror comedy box office on like, you know, IMDb Pro, Box Office Mojo or whatever. It's like it's just there's just a stigma against it being like falling into the formula and being a sure shot success. But we as horror fans, we love a good horror comedy you will tell your friends about, because it's got like the best, like, oh, you don't like horror? Well, this is a little lighter, or it always ends on a joke or a punchline. And like, you know, we always call our movie like the intro to horror kind of level, because like I don't like cannibal movies. Like I don't like actively go out and watch them.
Why are you
so grossed
you
out
produced this movie?
That's what I'm saying.
So why did
I'm
you
saying
produce this movie?
Okay. I'm sorry.
This is one that like keeps it light enough to where I don't like lose my lunch. So like if you feel out there that like Cannibal Comedian, I like the comedy thing, but like I don't know if I'm okay. I don't know if I'm able to watch this. A lot of people that don't like horror and can't stand anything gory have watched the movie and go, you know what? I didn't vomit. I actually kept my lunch. Like it wasn't as gross as I thought it was going to be. And it's like we toe that line of like this is too much, or we want to make sure we tailor it to everybody. Again, like just finding something that everybody can throw on and not feel like one person has to walk out of the room because I just don't do horror. And it's like, no, trust me. It's also a story about following your dreams and doing whatever it takes to make it, but also maybe pulling off someone's skin. But keeping it light.
It's so light that like actual people have become cannibals from watching the movie.
And they've moved from Florida to LA. I read that. Yeah.
I got right on that.
No, absolutely. There's someone literally doing a set tonight at like the.
We're promoting.
Yeah.
We're easing people into it.
Yeah, that should be on the poster. We'll put that in the quote. I became a cannibal, John Franklin. You know, police en route. The police. Like it's just like, what are these reviews? Like,
they're hot off the press.
App on my phone.
Yeah, they're coming in hot.
No, this is, I mean, thank you so much for creating a movie that is genuinely making people contribute to supporting like overpopulation and how to fix it. This is great. You are doing such great work. I mean, wow.
Thank you everyone for tuning into our marketing meeting. We're coming up with all sorts of good ideas.
I'm starving.
Okay. On the topic of when you kind of talk about like the movie having this like this type of like depth, and I really do mean it, because you've touched on something. You're watching a horror movie, but if you really pay attention, you've got Charlie, who is first of all well portrayed, very beautifully portrayed by, is it Aaron Prager? So there's a little
Prager one.
There's a little bit of like insecurity while he's building up his comedic skills, but he has such confidence as a killer, and then he has like different extremes when it comes to like those two things relating, and then he's also a bit of a romantic with Crystal. Like it's seamless too. Like he really like does a good job at like oh my god, I just want to kill these people and eat them, but damn it, I gotta try to like not fuck Crystal, but like fuck Crystal, and then I gotta like eat these people, and then I gotta make a drag queen laugh, and I gotta get these I have so much to do today. So what, like, how
I'm
did
just
that
gonna watch
happen?
TV.
Yeah, I'm just gonna watch TV. I don't. Was there a TV in that house? Like,
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
oh
yeah,
yeah, because
yeah.
the comedy club is introduced on the
oh
TV,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's
Yeah,
also the Johnny Hoops news report is on there too.
yeah. I mean,
There's also if you're a fan of Sean's stuff too, and you're a fan of Big Top Evil, listen to what's on the TV though before the breaking news. There's a nice little Easter egg connector in there too. So
I love that. There's a lot of good Easter eggs. I mean, I hope. I mean, and honestly, it should be. The movie's very Catholic friendly, but like for for the
there is a church. The
there
movie
is a
opens up in a
church. There
church.
actually is a church in the film.
Yeah. So
Um,
even the religious cats, we're just trying to
Everybody.
bring
Yeah,
it
yeah.
to.
We're
And
bringing
you know
it.
what?
We're bringing this movie's
Like,
gonna bring the world together. That's
this is
our
not
goal.
a spoil.
It'll bring
This is not a
something
spoil.
together, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if we got to, and we definitely need to answer that question because I want to, but I just want to mention this because we haven't had a chance to talk about it, and I don't think we talked about it on the commentary because there's only so much time on like the Blu-ray commentary, even though there's two of them. But like there is a funny thing where like your character, played by Tanya Estrada, is like the opening character that you meet in the movie. She's quite memorable. I won't say why. Just watch the movie. Shout out to Tanya. She starts off in a church and everything seems like it's fine, even though she's crying, and she has a specific wardrobe choice. It's funny because like there's almost like we it's like a completely unintentional thing with like Sean and I will look at this like way down the road in the edit being like what's cool like there's almost like a weird commentary of like you are safe in the church where she's in, and then she decides to leave the safety of it to go find help, and because she like left this place where she was safe, she is now in danger. And there's like an element of like if you escape this thing, like even people who are just like very religious focused be like Cannibal Comedian, not for me. It's like I gotta hook my mom actually with this bitch. I'm gonna call her after this. But I mean, there's kind of like a little like it's like the Friday the 13th like allegory of like don't have sex, don't do drugs, or you'll get murdered. And like like these religious groups should be able to like see that in there, but they're like, this is all bad, it's all the devil. But it's like there's actually kind of like a commentary in here that like you should be able to embrace or whatever. And Cannibal Comedian like unintentionally has like almost that layer by accident on there, where it's just like really Sean, I think Sean talks about in the commentary, it's like, yeah, we found this cool church and we shot in there, and then we found this cool part of the desert and we shot there. It's like that's as like as like easy as it goes. But like you can look at you can discover the layers later, and then when we notice the things and we piece them together later, we go like, oh, like let's connect the dots with that when we were doing like our pickups during the pandemic and stuff. But you bring up that great point about like Charlie in the mirror and Aaron kind of having his scene, and we won't go into like the too deep as to what it is. But there's a third act scene that I won't go into as to why it's my favorite. It's my favorite like scene, but like as far as an artist goes, there's a story about just a scene about the process of being an artist, trying to pursue your dreams while also being your biggest cheerleader in your head and your biggest detractor that you're not good enough and you'll never be good enough. And can you give yourself the confidence to go out and do that, which is like what all of us artists struggle with. And so, after we did Principal, when we were during the pandemic and everything kind of shut down, because everything shut down only weeks after Principal wrapped. So everything, like all of post was during like lockdown pretty much. We had a moment of like, are we allowed to make movies again? Like, what did I do with my life at this point? If like, we're not going to be, the movie theaters are closed down and like, we're not even allowed to meet up and make movies. Like, this was our outlet to express ourselves and to like, really just that we've been doing since we were children. Yeah. And now we can't do it. And we're allowed to watch movies on streaming, but like you can't make them unless you find like cool Zoom ways to do it or something like that. And it's like that whole scene came between like Sean and I just feeling stuck and just trying to put that into Charlie because he is this artist trying to pursue his dreams. And it's one of my favorite scenes in the movie, and his performance, like he gets to essentially play two characters in the mirror with himself. And anybody who's ever tried to pursue that stuff, if you feel seen in that, or you feel like, wait, am I crazy? Do I have a split personality? Like, there's somewhere in the line of like, this movie is for you, and we want you to feel seen, so that you also, after you watch this movie, maybe go, I don't want to kill people or make a movie or do stand up, but maybe I just want to go do that thing I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
And that's so that we hope that resonates on that
There's,
level.
and when you were talking, it made me think too that there's a piece of me in the movie. Obviously I'm writing it, but as an artist and as a musician, I've done stand-up comedy. I do character work, and I remember being like 13, 14 years old, and I'd have the camcorder and I'd do characters. I'd dress up. I'd do Disco Inferno. I'd dress up with like my sister had a cool, like, jacket, leather jacket, white, and I'm doing Disco Inferno and all that. And I just remember, that, or it's sort of like Charlie's doing bits and stuff for his victims. He doesn't really leave. He's very comfortable, very confident in his surroundings. He's lit. This is his paradise. And then he's older too. It even gets harder to go out and pursue your dreams when you're older. So he finally like goes out and does it, and I think people will relate with that. And then the same thing happened with me. I remember I was in New York City, and I finally just said fuck it, and I went into the Laugh Factory to an open mic, and I did it. And there was something like surreal that happened. Like, I almost like just felt like this sense of like relief. I finally went and did it. I was like maybe 24 or something. I came off the stage. I made one person laugh. I didn't do great, but it was just like, oh my God, I finally went up and did stand up comedy. And I try to I wrote that like into the script, personal, what's happened with me, so. And I think people, yeah, what Ryan was saying, just getting out of your comfort zone and go and doing something. It doesn't matter what it is, go try it, because like I did with Halloween Horror Nights. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna audition for this thing, and look what happened. I met like half the cast. I would have never known that. So you got to go out there and do things that are uncomfortable, basically. Sometimes
We say it a lot too. That Gretzky quote that you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
100%.
So it's like you are guaranteed just to fail if you don't allow yourself even just 1%, one shot to succeed. 8 Mile, no. But it's just like, it's that idea of like, just go.
Dream.
Yeah, have you? Like, it's like, is this a collect call? But it's just like, it's that idea of just like, we could all go tomorrow, and it
Where are we going?
like
oh, sorry.
We're going somewhere.
Yes,
I'll tell you about
pit
it.
of someone's esophagus.
Have you heard about our Lord and Savior Charlie and the church? No. But like, it's that idea that like we could genuinely, we could go at any point, so we might as well give it our best today. And that's also part of like, if you have a dream out there, shout out one of my good acting friends and coaches, Joseph Reitman.
Yeah.
He gave like the best piece of advice I learned during like Zoom acting classes during the pandemic too, because that's all we could do was like, he's like, if you have a thing you want to do and pursue, make a list of stuff you need to do on that list of dreams, and just go through, get 2 things off that to-do list done every day towards that goal, whatever it is. It doesn't even have to be a dream. It just could be like, I need to accomplish this goal. Just get 2 things a day done for that goal. Yeah. And you will watch, it can't be 1, but it could be 50 if you get that far. But just do 2, because if you could just knock out 2 on that list, you will find yourself achieving your dreams faster than just by sitting there toiling around going, what am I going to do? Just start with 2 things. That's it. If you do 2, then you go to bed. That's fine. You got the 2 done. But that has always helped me, of like, especially during the pandemic, it's just like, just powering through to get like the one thing done in an industry that's like, I cannot help you. We don't know what we're doing. And you kind of just have to have blind faith and push forward. Yeah. And now, like, that's why I was saying there's like kind of like an industry renaissance in a bit. We're still all kind of like making a comeback, and jobs are coming back and stuff like that, especially out here in LA. It's still like the toughest grind ever. But like, if you can just do like, put together your demo reel, or submit to one job, or, whatever it is, it's like, all you have to do is just those two things, and you will get to where you're going just faster just by doing that. And Charlie kind of does that a little bit too, I feel like.
Oh,
Yeah.
he does.
Shout out to my mom and dad for making me. Yeah. Stuff.
Yeah,
So,
shout
yeah.
out to all like 23 chromosomes each. Like they did,
Yeah.
they did their
Yep.
big one.
Yep. Yep. Making me happen. Thank you. Thank you, y'all.
I want to also. I think it's important to really recognize like the highlight that you had made, Sean. Like you know, you got to be in positions where you're gonna do something uncomfortable, and like you know, eating people is pretty uncomfortable. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's fucking. It's not.
No human was hurt in this movie, or whatever we should put on.
I scratched my knee one day on the desk. So I think we should add that though underneath.
No human animal. No human mammal. I don't know. No mammal was hurt.
What did you? I mean, as we kind of head to like, there's a billion things I want to get to, but I think I want to like just ask this at least. Like, so many practical effects in this film. So many. Like, talk to me about the process of getting them. Also, the first question I would like to have answered: what did you use for like the meat?
Yeah. There's different things. We use like when he's eating a leg or something. That was just ham, just like lunch meat ham, and then it was just ground beef with fake blood, and then there's certain elements that I found out through special effects people. We used for brains, used banana and fake blood, and if you launch it, like we have this thing called a brain blaster, and it just like shoots it. It will the banana will like if you hit a wall, they'll turn into little chunks, and it'll look like little brains. Yeah, so yeah.
Awesome.
And it's delicious. You can eat it too. So.
And it's vegan friendly too. Like back.
Yeah, that one's vegan friendly.
Look at how these like practical effects are just feeding into vegan culture. This is great. I'm not vegan. Like, I'll beef with anyone.
Hey, all right. Yeah. So yeah, I was all about practical effects, right? I mean, you know, it's just one of those things, and it's a lot more fun, but it is tough on set because we would have all these things ready. I had like it's almost like a fire extinguisher canister, and it's supposed to just spray blood like a Quentin Tarantino movie, and all of a sudden it's just not working on the day, right? And then we had to improvise. We literally we took bottles filled with blood and just went, you know, and that would just spray up in the air pretty damn good. So you know, they were really good with improvising. That was Andrea Deborian and Matt. What do we call him? Skibbs.
Lucero. Skibbs.
Yes, Lucero. Yeah.
Who's also got some trauma history. And Cortland Gordon.
Cortland, yeah.
Especially during our pickups and our
Yep.
main editor. And then you also did a lot of effect stuff too during, you know, helped out with a lot of that too. So
yeah.
A team of probably like four or five. I'd say Ryan from, you know, from Cortland's gang too.
Oh yeah. Ryan as well helping out. Yeah, that's fun. I mean, that's the best. That's the kill days. I mean, everyone's just having such a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun to watch. Not that I like. Listen, again, in a movie setting, I'm not going out there and watching like, hey, you should eat this person that doesn't like
right.
You know, like help me get rid. No, I'm kidding. I wanna ask this just as we kind of head towards like wrapping up. What was a favorite part of yours, like both of you individually? Like, did you have a favorite part of the film, the production, the putting it together? Like, what was a standout where you were like, damn, like this is fucking good? Like, was there a moment, and what was that moment at any point?
Well, I mean, I'm thinking of one that's like my favorite scene, but it's kind of a spoiler. Not really. I mean, someone gets their neck slit, and it's just this moment that I love because it's just this sort of flashback thing, and I was inspired by different things, but the way we shot it, I thought of The Dark Knight, when the lights turn back on and Batman is and Joker is sitting there in the interrogation room, and then
Oh,
Batman's
Batman's right
standing
behind him.
behind him, and that was sort of what I wanted to do. And then it was the first time that we actually put which is so funny. It's another Batman thing. Is Michael Keaton would put the black makeup underneath the eyes, so we did that with Charlie with his mask, and it looked
Mm.
demented. It looked so freaky because it wouldn't make sense if he just does that. All of a sudden, he's got black makeup, but for more of a dream kind of a flashback thing in his mind, it really worked, and he looked so scary. In the time of year that we were shooting, it was around Halloween, and you'd go outside and you'd see those Halloween decorations around, and so that vibe was going on, and we're shooting a horror film at the same time. So all that
Yeah.
in one was probably my favorite.
Yeah, that definitely I would echo like that October 2020 was cool because like again like lockdown and it's like okay are we gonna be able to celebrate like our favorite thing ever and like Halloween and like getting to do stuff and, like,
Yeah,
we just kept it really safe and like wore masks and like we're just shooting in Cortland's garage like we would do like just a 12-hour day just banging out all the most necessary stuff that we needed for
Aaron
the
had to
finished
wear a
product of the
mask
movie.
because he's
Yeah.
kind of
His was
yeah. So
easy. Yeah, he
yeah.
had a mask and then a mask and then a bubble. No, but yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. Like there was, we talked about it in the doc, but there was like a tree fort, making a movie with your friends feel that it brought us back to when we were kids. That was a great element, and it's such a great team, and it's so fun, and especially too when we got to start premiering and touring the movie. We went nationwide for like 6 months straight, and just got to kind of like this person would pick off where this person left off, and then this person would fly in and go with this person to this place, and then so it's just kind of like it really was like a rock band, like just doing kind of that punk rock indie film feel that was like really great, and we were lucky enough to like win like 25 awards at 25 festivals. So I mean it's that, like that was amazing. There you go. Look at that. Shout out Days of the Dead.
Oh,
George
Days
Roger.
of the Dead. Shout out Days of the Dead. We love Days of the Dead here.
Yeah, they took good care of us, and they've been supporters from the jump. And
are you guys coming to sorry, are you coming to the one in Arizona this summer?
TBD.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't set. We're still working on at least getting maybe even some like big screen dates. Possibly touring with the documentary as well. So it's a possibility that like we're still in the process of like just getting the release out there, and then also like kind of shifting into like I guess tour part 2 with the film.
We'd love to be guests.
Yeah. No, yeah, that
would be the
we
best.
definitely want to show the movie to as many places as possible that are now resonating with it, and we have like very much cut our teeth on the Q&A, and just like talk back podcasts, like doing all kind of like the at least meet and greet type stuff and conventions and getting to meet fans and sign posters and Blu-rays and DVDs and the whole nine. So it's been a fantastic journey. I would say like that was definitely a standout, and then also too working on the documentary. The making of was kind of like a really special thing that's on the Blu-ray. It's a feature doc. It's like 97 minutes, I believe.
Oh, wow.
So it's like 10 minutes longer than the movie. But it pretty much has all of our origin stories on it, and you can pick that up from Scream Team releasing. They even have like limited edition signed versions and a 50 print VHS version as well. Over here, yeah. So yeah, it's all of it's been my favorite. Yeah. You know what I mean? Even the behind the scenes, like there's even more practical gore kills on the Blu-ray. Like there's 25 minutes of extended stand-up from the real comics that came out in the film. There's extended gore kills in there. It's got something for everyone. It has a bang for your buck. There's literally 6 hours of special features on there.
Damn.
And like we got to spend like Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, like at home, buckled down, like getting this out for the distributors. And like, that was like some of the best holidays because like we got to rediscover all this stuff that made it special and make sure that the fans got a little bit of everything for that release. So, they can check it out now and, exclusively on SCREAMBOX streaming. They can also, pick it up on like obviously Apple TV, Amazon, Roku, Fandango at home, Google Play, but then like head to Scream Team Releasing if you want to get one of those limited edition Blu-rays or VHSs, because you'll have 3 days worth of like content that you can just sit there. It's not a cash grab at all. Like I don't know if you see my Blu-ray collection in the background, but like
amazing.
It's for y'all. Like this is something we would not sign off on if we didn't do it justice. And so like it's definitely.
I mean, the name of the documentary, right? It tells you what it is. The
doc is Blood, Sweat, Tears, and More Blood. The making of Cannibal Comedian. Shout out to Dan Ballister, who was the master editor who cut that together in record time. And it's you got to have a moment of like your life flashing before your eyes and knowing like, wow, we really did journey with this movie and it journeyed with us, and now it's connecting with other people. And like, again, even if you don't like the movie or you feel like you might not like some of it, like just give it a go and check out the making of too, because again, that follows the same. Follow your dreams, do whatever it takes. Like we had a pandemic, like essentially shut this production down right after the footage went into the hard drive, and like what you go through during that time, and this like the mental process and the perseverance and the teamwork and the friendship and just like people looking out for each other. And like, again, like it's tough coming from Florida and saying like, I want to go out to Hollywood and make movies. They're just like, yeah, that's not a real job. Like, we're not going to support you. But like the people who do support us and have allowed us to make it our real full-time job, like that's a dream come true. And we thank all of those people and everybody who's helped us along that way, because we wouldn't be here without it. So.
Oh, that's special. And I want to just mention, you said Scream Team Releasing, because I texted that to myself, because I want to put as much information of where they can access this film in multiple different capacities. So thank you for mentioning that. But
absolutely,
this sounds incredible. It sounds like there's a whole like second half in the making of that really kind of speaks to that, like follow your dreams, like grind, go hard kind of thing, which I'm all about it.
100%.
Like I'm fucking thrilled you both did this with me today. Thank you so much. I wanna end with one little question that might be a little bit of a giveaway. At the end of Cannibal Comedian, y'all tee us up for a part 2. So is it an ellipse? Is it a ... Is there anything that can be in one word shared, or a couple words, or just anything?
Yes.
Oh. We would love to. We would love to do another one. It's going to be the fans. It's going to be the word of mouth, and people wanted us to make a second one. That is how we would actually be able to make this next one.
Yeah, and we'd like to. Obviously, we want to make it bigger and badder. Like, we were lucky enough to have Alan Danziger and Ed Neal from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre involved with this, and they've been our like biggest cheerleaders. They're in the doc as well. Like, just like shout out Bill Mosley, Poncho Moeller, like Caroline Williams. Like, we've had so many people like really cheerleading this thing who made the films that like inspired us to like make movies as kids. And like that is also a dream come true element. But like, we'd love to bring more like horror legends, horror icons into a second one.
Also really comedians,
Oh yeah,
so,
no, totally, absolutely, yeah. We really want to try and break through the stand-up crowd and also get some big stand-up names and comedy legends involved. Because again, we do believe that it's got to be that 50-50.
It really is.
Very much toe that line of this is too much horror, or it's too much comedy or whatever. Like, we really wanted a balance for both to do both genres justice. And so we would love to feature, like, again, like if people are vocal about it, and it gets to certain comics, like spread the word, like support your local comedians, tell them about this movie, support your local indie horror filmmakers or horror actors, let them know about this movie, have them connect with us. It's we all believe in collaboration, and and we're willing to have a conversation with everybody. And if it's the right fit, like, and it's organic, we like, again, just like how Sean and I met, it was just like, whoa, you like horror comedy? Whoa, you worked with Bill Mosley? Whoa, horror, it's like Terrifier and VHS and blah, blah, blah. And it's all come full circle to now. And it's like, wow, like you see it almost written out as though it were just like a story that stuck the landing. And a lot of it is just by happenstance and sure luck. But like, you know, that's something that I feel like is Charlie's journey as well. And so we
and
do set
also,
it up,
yeah,
and we have ideas.
this movie, if we make the second one, it'll be our Evil Dead 2, straight up. Yeah,
Hell
yeah.
yeah. Hell yeah. I'm genuinely
It'll be
excited. I love.
outrageous, basically, this next one.
Oh,
It
so
really
so
will be
say
that Ace Ventura, Texas Chainsaw, like you know, amplified on steroids. Like that's what it will be, the second one, because it's time to go now. The New Hope, the New Hope was like kind of laying the base, and then the Empire Strikes Back was just a banger. So that's how I would go after the second one.
amazing. I'm excited for it. I mean, again, this Cannibal Comedian is out now. It's on SCREAMBOX. It's viewable in many different modalities and formats. But this, like, the way you set everything up for a second one, I'm excited to see the story. I want to see what might happen with Crystal and all of those, like, dope things. You both put together a phenomenal film, and you blended two of the best genres I think exist out there, two of the genres that really include so many elements. And for everyone who's listening to this or watching this, like, going back to what Sean and Ryan had mentioned, I mean, horror movie, it's not just meant to be scary, it's got heart to it, it's got like such a story that I resonate with. And I just appreciate you both for being here and not only sharing your stories, but talking about Cannibal Comedian and how absolutely bonkers it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And a big shout out to Screambox and Cineverse and Bloody Disgusting. Like, y'all are fucking phenomenal. I love the team over there. And I mean, as we wrap up, like, anything you two want to plug? Where can the audience find you? Anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, check us out on Instagram. That's our number one spot, and that's Cannibal_comedian. And then mine is Sean. What I don't even know what it is. Sean_Heights. Is that what mine is? I don't know. Sean Heights. Yeah. Just check us out there and Facebook and X as well. We're on a couple others as well now too.
Perfect.
Yeah, Blue Sky Threads as well.
Blue Sky. Yep, Threads. And someone's doing
Awesome.
lawn work right now. It might be the Weed Hacker. Shout out to the Weed Hacker Massacre. That's Alan Danzinger's new movie.
Alan. And you can catch me, Ryan James, on there, ryanjames.mov on Instagram. Like our main one, please tag us in your reviews, your thoughts, Cannibal_comedian. Also, please hit up IMDb, Letterboxd, Rotten Tomatoes. Please throw us a review. It's really hard to break through on people's like suggested views. Like, you might like this. If it gives you a "Did you like this?" option, please hit like this. Please drop us a comment or a positive review and a rating, because like that really does help us break through to other viewers, and so we really appreciate that, everybody who's helped out with that. So yeah, thank you. And Area 5150, if you're excited for Cannibal Comedian, a sequel, it's pretty much got all of that love and juice, and everybody who's like involved in that, it like comes back in like a big bad way. So come check that out, and you're gonna have some fun with that. That'll be our next ride for sure.
Hell yeah, this was amazing. Thank you both so much for taking time out of your day to be here and just talk about all these things. Like, it's a real treat. I really appreciate it, and I'm gonna go and make sure I order myself a little Blu-ray copy.
Thank you, Nino. Appreciate you.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you to those of us who tuned into the channel. My name is Nino Daniel. I will see you at the next one. Bye.